All right, so I think your title says it all about what the content of that article is. That messy way of doing business, in your mind, how is it going to influence D.C. long term, and how is it going to work with this relationship with the president-elect?
Well, even without Elon Musk, as Emily just pointed out, it's going to be rocky and really hard to do business, especially in those early weeks of the new Congress with the new administration. Not a lot of margin of error for Republicans who control all three there, the House, the Senate, and the White House. So in theory, they should be able to pass whatever they want. But as we've seen, it's very difficult. And then when they think they have a deal, as they did last week, Elon Musk gets in the mix and has shown that he can blow it up. The question with Elon Musk, and the question that I heard in Washington when I was there last week, is can Elon inspire Republicans to vote for what he wants them to do? It's one thing to kind of kill a deal. It's another thing to get them on board with his agenda, and he wants to, as we know, cut government spending, cut government regulation. He's going to need to build consensus with people to do some of that, and it's not clear that lawmakers want to give up their role in that. That's going to be the big question in the next few weeks and few months.
All right. So one other thing that's going on here is that House Democrats, they're some of the people raising the questions that the president-elect was referring to. Basically saying that Elon Musk has outsized influence over D.C. How does that play politically in D.C.? Separate from Elon Musk and Republicans and other lawmakers, how does that play between the two parties, this idea of Elon Musk potentially having this outsized influence?
Well, it's great for Democrats because it gives them a boogeyman and it helps them in their campaigning, campaign fundraising. It also allows them, as we saw in the initial days after that initial bill was the support evaporated, to try to build a wedge between President-elect Trump and Elon Musk. You saw that the former president talking about kind of hinting at that when he spoke yesterday, saying that Elon wasn't going to be president. Well, we know from the previous Trump administration that he doesn't like to share the limelight. He doesn't like to share the idea of people around him to kind of getting bigger than him. We saw it with Steve Bannon kind of going away during the first administration. And so the question of observers here who follow these things closely is kind of how long Trump, how long Musk can see eye to eye with each other. There's a lot of reasons why they might want to try to make this work. And there's a lot of history about how this might not work.
All right, so the palace intrigue is certainly interesting. We do focus quite a bit on that, but I want to go back to the funding deal that didn't work out. Some House lawmakers are saying there was some language in that bill that may have impacted some of Elon Musk's business, specifically in China, and that they, according to them at least, that one of the reasons why he wasn't in support of that bill is that would impact his personal business. How does that play out when it comes to D.C. and this new administration?
It's one of the questions that's going to be hanging over a lot of this is Elon doing this for the country? Or Elon doing this for Elon? Elon would we've seen him talk about how he's already the world's richest man. Why would he be doing this to make more money? Right? This is about saving the government, saving the country, about all these other things. But without a doubt, it's part of the background conversation and oftentimes the foreground conversation about what government is doing, what Elon is doing. It just happens to probably help some of his companies. You got to remember Tesla, SpaceX, these are companies that operate in heavily regulated environments. Having the ability to shape those government regulations or what isn't regulated or what isn't enforced, that's very powerful, and that could make having Trump in the White House very beneficial to Elon.
All right. Speaking of very powerful, before we let you go, we've seen a consortium of, I would say, of some tech companies trying to put their abilities together to get government contracts. You would imagine that SpaceX might be part of that. I mean, how does that work, that potential conflict of interest with the incoming administration and Elon Musk and some of his other companies trying to get those government contracts?
It's interesting. Elon isn't technically part of the government, and he hasn't filed any kind of these paperworks that would show his conflicts. So going forward here, it's going to be probably Democrats who are raising the concerns and pointing out when things happen. I imagine at every kind of turn, that is going to be one of the big conversations is how is this affecting his companies?